The Nimble with Numbers team presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
Bam! I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winners, folks. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show. For now, I'm Bo McBrayer, brought to you as always alongside caressing his hair a la Denny Carter. This is Scott Simpson at Nimble W Numbers. He is the man, the myth, the legend, the hot box consumer of the year. There's no doubt about that. Scotty, we made it to the last football game for 5 months. Are you a little bit kind of sad that it's coming to an end tomorrow?
I'm ridiculously sad, but then also happy because my family wants me back, and I've committed to going back to them. And so the last week I have gone back to them. And,
Stockholm syndrome is real.
They want me back. I feel very loved now. Also, my pizza was eaten. I want that to be.
I saw that. I'm pretty sure that's grounds for all kinds of litigation, not to mention divorce.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, I literally, my wife, I bought 2 pizzas that were for myself. It was a BOGO, right? A buy one, get one free. And they're pepperoni sausage cheese. It's not like these. I took them home. I got them last week. I said, look what I got. Look what I got. And then I shared half of it with London because London is on decks right now, finishing up her chemo treatment. And so she wanted pizza. I shared it. And then my wife took the rest of it. I said, what happened? Why did you take it? She goes, I thought it was community pizza.
Like there was such a thing.
Like it just in our whole marriage, it's been like 16 years. This has never happened. Like that's if it happened like every once in a while,
man,
I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. She knows
the boundaries are being tested. She's throwing a stick on your electric fence right now.
My favorite is the ignorance pleading. Like, what? I didn't even know. I wouldn't have done it if I would have known you liked pepperoni and sausage. So, but
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna be upset about it, throw a fit, be very. Yeah, I want you to be demonstrative in your displeasure for that event taking place. And then you just got to move on.
It's over. It's over, Johnny, right? So you just put your hot box hat on, you get back in and you take a few more swings at the batting cages. You know what I'm saying?
So why do you have a Squid Game keychain on your microphone, sir?
Oh man, I did. This is kind of, I normally have it more tilted this way. My guy, John, who's over there in South Korea right now, rocking it out, sent me a little package, and one of a care package, right, from South Korea, candy in it, all kinds of fun stuff, and this little keychain from Squid Game was in there. So, he hangs right here now.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of myself, really.
Well, this show is unofficially not official sponsor yet. Brought to you by Buffalo Trace. That's our unofficial sponsor. Official sponsor, of course, is Hotbox, like BigTimeFlavor.co, home of the Hotbox gourmet hot sauce. This stuff right here, the most deliciously intense condiment on planet Earth.
I also say unofficially sponsored by the Balvenie USA distillery, bringing it over from.
Because it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's exactly right, groundskeeper Willie. And this is some of the best. It's aged in the 14-year in the the Caribbean cask rum. Oh my gosh, the Canadian. Sorry, that's ridiculous. The Caribbean. It's the rum casks. They are the best. So cheers for your Buffalo Trace from my Balvenie from East to West Coast. I heard it's Thanksgiving there now on the West Coast.
Barely. Yeah. Black Friday shopping is in full flux. Somebody alleged that Denny Carter made it all the way out here, but it was a time loop. So he basically ran in a circle around Maryland and pretended he was in California for a week. Classic story. I've seen it 1,000 times.
Oh my gosh! Of course, Denny would do that instead of hopping on a bird and actually going out to the West. Classic.
I would have felt him coming. I didn't feel him coming.
Yeah, like the X-Men, their presence when they're in your vicinity. He wasn't there. Yeah. Well, Davis Maddock called him out earlier. Said he never left America. I don't think he ever left his basement. He was just in his basement the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. CGI green screens. It's not that hard to throw it out there.
Yeah. I did see him interviewing CEH, which I thought was pretty. Well, now we know why CEH tanked this year. The Denny curse. It just happened at the end, but it ex post facto it applied. Previously, so Denny curse CEH. Now we know why. So,
jeez, poor kid,
poor guy, never stood a chance. But now, if the Super Bowl is in your state, how does that feel? I know Southern California a little bit different than NorCal, but how is the state a buzz right now, or is California just doing its own thing? And so it's not really that big of a deal.
I mean, it's kind of a big deal because SoFi is so awesome. Like, we're talking about a $5 billion stadium in Southern California, shared by two teams. And for the first 54 Super Bowls, not a single one had a home field advantage in the Super Bowl. And we got it 2 years in a row now, with the Bucks winning at home at Raymond James last year, and now the Rams at home at SoFi. Even though the LA football fans, they're picking up, but it's still like they're so far behind. This is not a football town in LA. LA is more of a Dodger baseball town, and the Lakers, of course. That's really what the whole town is built on, and USC football. But it's not caught up to the NFL game yet because they haven't been there that long yet, and they're finally good again. So both teams being good, I think it'll go a long way. But this Super Bowl is still kind of meh here because there's not a ton of Rams fans running around.
Right. Well, and NorCal, SoCal, a little different place. But I saw an interview with Rams fans, which was pretty cool, where they were asking for fans when were they actually starting their fandom? How long had they been fans? Some people were just straight honest. They're like, ever since I moved here to LA, I became a fan right away. I'm on the football team. Other people, I think Jared Weaver from the Dodgers was like, I was a fan back in the day. They came back, so I've been locked in, never left, even though they moved locations. So I am excited to see. I don't think you think of Rams fans as like hardened, long-term, amazing, rabid, Pittsburgh type of thing.
It's a great fan base, but they're split across two different. From St. Louis all the way back to LA, you got a 50-50 split. A lot of the fans never left Missouri. And then half of the fans kind of probably gave up on the Rams when they left the state in the 90s. Right. And now that they're back, they haven't gotten them all back yet. You're building a fan base, but I still think it's great because it's a great football matchup. Like we're excited for this game to take place. We're also excited because it's kind of a feel good type of Super Bowl where there's no villain team. Like there's no team that you're rooting against. You're just maybe hoping for the underdog win, or you might be hoping that Matthew Stafford gets his first ring. This is it's a really cool kind of game where it's two teams, one of which we might have expected to be here in the Rams because they sold out their future to get here. But nobody saw the Bengals coming, and that story getting to this game is awesome because they're a very likable team. They're a young team with a lot of talent, especially on offense, and people are hyped up for this game. Overall, football fans have it really good, and then we're probably going to have the best halftime show of all time for the Super Bowl, being that it's in LA at the big new stadium. It's going to be rocking. That's going to be a hell of a show at halftime. It's going to be a hell of a football game. Tomorrow's going to be awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm really excited to watch. I think you hit on a point. There's no real villain. There's no real team to root against. Last year you hated Tom Brady. He was right there for the hating. If you were a Pat Mahomes hater and the Chiefs hater, that was there as well. This year, we got two really lovable quarterbacks, both sides looking good. I would say that I'm leaning my heart right now. I'm not a fan of either team. Is the Bengals, just because I love when the new kind of comes into the league and sets it on edge. I think it's really amazing what him and Jamar Chase did this year. So I'm leaning that way. But I also love a good veteran story, and Matthew Stafford is that story. Sweethearts with his wife Kelly since they were in Georgia, cheerleader, quarterback. My wife started getting all teary when I told her about that story. So yeah, this is going to be amazing. the whole thing. I'm just going to be celebrating this game, and I'm excited, honestly, that we get to wrap it up with such an amazing game. You and I, our long season. We'll talk about that later. The Clash is coming to an end.
Let's go.
I know. So, but so before anyone does any of those things, we get into that. Let's talk about my guy Bo_McBigtime. Follow him over at his Twitter handle, Bo_McBigtime. While you're there, I mean, dude, the guy works for Fantasy Pros. He's cranking out like 8,000 articles a week. He works for Team Rise and Fall, going for 2. Poor Jeff doesn't know what he's got with Bo. Bo does work with me as well, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, IBT Media, and then, of course, Hotbox. So I think it's a race to fill up our Twitter bios, and Bo has a leg up for sure. So
I have people that I wanted to mention in my bio that I don't have room for. So that such is the life of a freelance writer, where you're periodically throughout the year, I might be writing for 4 or 5 at one time, and then overall 10 to 11 companies I've been contributing for this last year. So yeah, I have a lot of people I'm thankful for the opportunity to write and to create content for, and it's been really fun because everybody needs that extra thing beside what they do every day. I have a day job, you have a day job, something to come home to and take pride in, something that it gives you energy rather than taking life from you. Like a lot of our day jobs are so mundane, or there's something that's just dreaded. Like you get into a rut with those. You never get into a rut when you're creating fantasy football content, because football is fun all year round. There's always something to do. There's, whether it's Dynasty, or I'm going to be covering the NFL scouting combine for Fantasy Pros. I'm going to be writing 11 articles over the first 2 weeks of March to cover the scouting combine and do some rookie mocks. And it's going to be awesome because I have something to do every month of the year pertaining to football, and just putting it out there, creating stuff out of my head and my heart to hopefully entertain y'all.
Well, I got to say, we are living the dream here. And as Bo's content, ramps up, I am going to take a little bit of a break. Honestly, the last 2 years have been wild as London's kind of situation comes to an end. She got her report out today. I'm sorry, yesterday. Her report out yesterday.
She's a warrior.
Man, she's killing it. If you don't know what a port is, it is an installation that they put into patients who have to have quick IV access. It could be for a lot of different things, but a lot of times for chemo as well. And so London has had that plastic little nodule in her chest for 2 years. They removed it, which is in of itself, just both those processes, putting it in, removing it, remarkable technology they have. But London is doing really, really well. And so, I'm excited to honestly take a break and just be with my fam, tuck in. I've been grinding my dick off, as Sal Vetri likes to say. And, and it's good. It's good.
It's true though. It's true. And I'm in the middle of 5 days off of my day job and really haven't done anything. I'm just relaxing. It's relaxing to not have something to do. And today, because I'm always having to do something, is I got up and did yard work and helped clean the house. And nice. It was something to do today where I was like, I don't want to do anything. I don't need to do anything, but it'd be nice to catch up on some other things that I haven't been doing.
Well, I'm with you on that. And what I had been doing every week during the fantasy football season is 3 podcasts, this being one of them, 3 articles, the Clash being one of them as well. So 6 pieces of content, big pieces of content too, not like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You had to prepare a lot of prep for them. And so I've actually really, really enjoyed not doing any of those things and going to bed. I've gotten much more sleep. And I'm a better, healthier person. I went to the doctor. I got my blood work done. I get my card, my medical card coming in the mail soon. So I took a bunch of steps for my own health, and doctor's appointments out the wazoo and stuff. A couple more to come. Jabs. I got my booster. So, but I'm glad because now I can set my sights to what I'm going to do next year for content wise. Get refreshed, get new vision. I've already got some really good ideas I'm wanting to throw out your way. So anyway, though, we're not just talking about us in this year, but I do like the kind of wrap up how we're doing. You've been crushing it, my friend. By the way, I do have to say all those things we showed. Fantasy Pros, geez, man, just fucking geez, I love it. It's just
what an organization, and that's why it was such a big deal for me to to tell my family, like, hey, this is a big deal for me. Like as a freelance writer, to be a feature on somebody else's website is incredible, especially with a website with the reach that Fantasy Pros has. And I'm one article into many more. I'm still so excited to be part of that organization and to contribute content for. I mean, it's Fantasy Pros. I can actually talk to somebody at work and mention Fantasy Pros, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been on that website plenty of times."
Right.
So a lot of these smaller sites are lost upon most people, except for the Twitter community.
I really love my guy Joe Pisapia over there at Fantasy Pros. That guy is crushing it.
Black Book.
He is. He's the face of it over there. Kyle has moved on. Dan has moved on. God bless them both. But Joe Pisapia righting the ship. Unfortunately, during a hard time when tags passed. But I love Joe Pisapia. Shout out Joey P. You're the man, brother. I know you're crushing it over there, doing all the DFS.
We're both humongous fans of Joe Pisapia.
Oh, I love that guy. That guy. He had me on 3 times last year. He said I was the holiday guy. Man, it made me feel so good.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you and
I need to be. I haven't streamed with Joe, so I'm really excited to maybe do it one time in the future.
Oh, for sure. To get the Fantasy Pros kiss, you know what I mean? To get that kiss from both of us, it's nice. It's like the Godfather. One of the Godfathers in football in the fantasy community we're in. Just like, hey, we like you. You know what I mean? Same thing with Awesemo and all these different groups of people who have
hey, you come here.
blessed us. I mean, honestly, who the fuck are we compared to all these other amazing people? And they brought us in. They treated us like we're equals. It's such an amazing group of people to be a part of.
As we will be. They see our potential. This is all about if you keep working, you're going to get noticed. And unless you're a punchable face that everybody hates, I mean, that still might work in your favor. It's just going to come down to where we got to think of ourselves as the future and a little bit of the present, and hopefully not too much of the past.
I'm excited because you and I are both kicking butt growing. I think between us, we've got almost 15,000 followers, maybe. You know what I mean?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
I think I'm really close to 6,000 or something like that.
And I'm so maybe 14,000 something. I mean, it's nice to see how much people have shown love to us. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, from anybody who's listened to any content we've done this year, whether it's DFS, fantasy football, the writing we've done across different platforms. Thank you. We appreciate you guys so much. We do it for ourselves, but we do it for you guys too. I mean, it's an inner thing that we love to do for each other, for ourselves, and for you, as you're a big part of that. So, Bo, thank you too, brother, for being the knife I've been sharpening myself on all DFS season long. It's great to have someone as amazing as you. I tell Mike all the time, I can't fucking believe it. I said, I get to have Bo as my counterpoint in the DFS world. I said, that's wild. I said, no one else has that. And no one, you know what I mean? So that's just, I'm so grateful for it, brother. Cheers. Salute to you, my friend.
Slancha. Yeah, it's been really fun. And this off season Chalk Block's not going anywhere. Our schedule might be a little more sporadic, but that's going to be a good thing because we're going to be really flexible with when we go live, and it's always going to be with a really high prominence guest this off season. We're not going to run a Chalk Blocked and fill up your feeds and spout our nonsense unless we got somebody really cool coming on. So stay tuned for some really cool bookings this spring and summer before the 22 season starts, because it's going to be exciting. We're going to get some titans of the industry to join us, maybe some people outside the industry that are of high prominence that we can talk to, interview, ask them some really fun questions. Like, I mean, we got to find out who some of these titans really, what they really feel about food topics. I want to know their controversial food takes. We've had some wild ones over the last year.
I'll tell you a few people who I think this year I'd love to have on during the off season, and maybe we can pull it. One would be my boss, Pat Mayo. I'd love to have that guy on. That guy is man. That guy is a beast. Fucking love that guy. And then another guy fit in the same mold there is Alex Baker, Awesemo himself, man. That guy. He had me on his show. We had a lot of fun, but we were talking more DFS, just talking life. I'd love to talk some life with him. I know I'm sure
Well,
he's
he's a newlywed, so maybe we can talk about. There's a lot of topics we can talk to Alex about.
Tons of things. So those are a few of my guys who I'm gonna be reaching out to. We've had Lofty on earlier. He is just a consummate professional. I love Lofty. Yeah. So this is.
Has anybody checked on him? He pure elation with that NBA trade that went down.
Oh my
where
God.
they got rid of Ben Simmons in Philly, and I'm pretty sure Lofty is really, really, really excited still.
He came.
He didn't change his pants right after either. He's just sitting in it right now.
Now he had one of those cum diapers that are on, Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, yeah.
Yeah.
With his, oh yeah.
So anyway,
outrageous.
I love Nick Kroll too. If we're shouting out people we love, Dream Scenario interviewed Nick Kroll about the league during the offseason. That would be the show of all shows. Shout out Nick Kroll, Big Mouth, and the new show they have coming out too, which looks great. I'll start it. It's March 18th. Human Resources. I mean, you got Maury there. I love Maury. He's if you don't know him, he's.
I tell you what, man.
Yeah. You sleeping it, you pig. So love those guys over there too. But let's jump into this game. Here's what we do. We don't have the same type of simulator over from Run the Sims because there's only one game. So instead, they're going to kind of give you optimals and a little bit different format and setup for this. But let's talk kind of, based on the projections of what they
showdown. What a perfect way to wrap up the Beards and the Bellies clash, because it's a showdown to finish the season. And a lot of times showdowns don't have very big margins of victory, which is why I'm worried, because I'm in a big hole that this game for all my slates that I'm going to be entering, all my DFS lineups, showdown lineup has been my strongest this year. Last year it was head-to-heads and cash games. I was like pretty much didn't lose all year last year. And this year it was kind of like I made my bacon on showdown slates because it's just for whatever reason, that's just what hit for me. This is where we make our money. Let's go. If you got a bankroll, let's throw it out heavy this week because we do have some pretty good keys in this game. Run the Sims is dialed in with what I'm feeling about this game too.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Where is your lean? It's kind of a home game. We talked about that here for the LA Rams, quasi home game. There'll be some fans there just showboating and looking good and trying to, spend their money. But how do you think this game plays out from their perspective? Are you going to have Matthew Stafford, I guess, in your build? And I guess maybe let's talk a little bit about cash and then versus GPP, kind of how you would attack the Rams offense in those two scenarios.
So I'm giving it I have a couple of different ways I'm writing the script for this game. And one of them is the Rams get out big and sit on the they try to run the game out, but they're not successful because they're not able to use that three-headed monster well enough, but there's no continuity in the running game. And then the Bengals come back and make it a close one. And in that scenario, I would definitely play both quarterbacks, especially in a cash lineup. And then the other scenario is it's kind of a lower scoring game and the field goal kickers are going to be both important. So I do see both of those things happening where you get the Rams out fast, Bengals come back to make it an over game where you're playing both quarterbacks and the wide receivers. And then the lower scoring game, I would actually favor playing the tight ends and the receivers and lay off the quarterbacks, throw in a kicker and a defense, like a lot of McPherson and Rams defense, like you did with your lineup. That's going to be an important distinction to make, that you write the script for this game how you expect it to go, and then build your lineup with reflection on the information that you expect to be true. Yeah.
It is tricky when you kind of look at sorry, I changed the script up here. When you look at one game, right? One game, what is the optimal lineup build? And then how do you get those pieces in so that they overlap? Because to get in Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, which I did in my lineup, I had the captain Cam Akers. You have to captain somebody who is going to keep cheaper, you under cheaper if you're going to have all those players. So I guess,
and I'm worried about the Cam Akers captain. I understand why people are doing it because the price is so discounted. But we're talking about a guy who was already ceding carries and touches to Sony Michel, and now Darrell Henderson's back. So you have a three-headed monster, and we don't know exactly who's going to get the high priority carries, the high importance carries, the touchdown carries. If you can't peg it down, you might as well go with the cheaper one. Go with Sony Michel. Go with Darrell Henderson, especially as a tournament play, because everybody's going to be on Akers because he's the better of the three backs, but we don't know based on his fumbling and his own injury status to whether he's going to get enough work. So I'm worried about a captain spot with Cam Akers because that's an upside play. You want that captain spot to score the most points in the game. That's how you win a showdown. You hardly ever lose if you have the guy that breaks out in your captain spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think Joe, Mixon's a much better captain and running back, but he's much more expensive. So it's
true.
That solid,
I think this game's going to be won with the wide receiver position, especially if the Rams are able to get enough heat on Burrow as we're expecting them to get with their matchup advantage. Then the shorter receivers, whoever tight ends out there, if Uzomah's healthy, he'll have a good game. If he's not, then Drew Sample will get some work. Tyler Boyd will get some work. Samaje Perine. So if you're expecting the Rams to get after Joe Burrow and sack him a few times, you're going to want to also plug in those short yardage receivers for the Bengals. Even Trent Taylor is on my radar for this reason, because you're looking for, okay, if Joe's just making quick reads and get rid of the ball so he doesn't take sacks, then you're going to think short yardage. You're going to think the receiving targets that they're going to run routes behind the blitz on.
Yeah. I think the way that you win this game, if you're Cincinnati, is you control the football, and then you also mix the short pass with the run. Like you said, to be effective, because you are not going to get into a gunfight with them because you can't stop the edge rushers. You can't do those double moves. You can't wait for the play to develop. Joe Burrow can move in the pocket a bunch, but he might have to step up a few times. Okay, that's fine, right? Bet maybe his over in the rushing prop of 3.5 yards. Maybe he's got to run a little bit. He'll get flushed. But the double moves downfield, those take time to develop, right? And also they'll be waiting on them. They're not going to be like, hey, what do you think's going to happen on 13?
You mean Jamar Chase scored half of his touchdowns on double moves?
Wait a minute. Hold on. So I'm not saying don't play Jamar Chase, but I think Jamar Chase is ultimately the biggest boomer bust candidate.
He has to be. He's exactly like Mike Evans in the last game.
Yeah,
he's exactly like Mike Evans, because if you get the Jalen Ramsey treatment, you have to hope that he makes that one big play that Mike Evans made. And otherwise, it's going to be nothing. He's going to be shut down most of the game like Mike Evans was. Yeah. And then that one play may or may not be there to pull him through and help you win.
That one play was wild, by the way. That last touchdown, that was in crazy time. I call crazy time the last 5 minutes of a game where someone's come back and the momentum is just like, because things just happen like that, like an 80-yard touchdown. You guys remember that Baltimore Vikings game, 15 years ago, where like last minute and a half, 25 points were scored. Amazing stuff happening. Like that's the kind of stuff that can happen at any point. But in the Super Bowl, just ask the Washington football team from, was it 87 or 87? And it just 2 quarters can change the whole game. So, I like that. It's chase or nothing. For me, it's nothing, to be honest with you. But I mean, that could be wrong. Yeah. He can catch 3 touchdowns, and
Yeah, he definitely has the capability for it. It's gonna come down to T. Higgins, because Darius Williams, the off corner for the Los Angeles Rams, he's been a liability. If you're attacking that defense, you're not attacking Ramsey's side of the field unless you got the right route called for it. Like if he's posting a certain leverage and then you have the right route called for that leverage that Jalen Ramsey's posturing, then you can go after him and make a completion. But the dude's such a great tackler, you're not going to get much after the catch there either. So if you're looking for the maximum upside, you're going to attack Darius Williams and try to go down the seam where these linebackers aren't quite as good. And that's where the Bengals really have to rely on Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins in this game. And if they have a big game, which I think they will, that's why I kind of went in our lineup. I went with the two guys not named Jamar Chase, because I think if Joe Burrow has his biggest game, it's going to be with them over covering Jamar Chase and leaving these other great receivers
one-on-one matchups. Yeah. I agree. I liked your build a lot because it's kind of the only other way you can get the win,
and I thought about just going full on onslaught with wide receivers.
I thought that too.
I really thought about just doing 3x2 with wide receivers and then throwing somebody like Cup in the captain spot and just going with full on wide receiver only in this game, because that's where all the points are going to be scored. Or I think I had Cup and Blanton and Beckham against the 3 Bengals receivers. So I had enough room to spread across. I almost did that, but then I kind of did peek and see that you had both quarterbacks in there, and I was like, well, if he's going to do that, there's no way I should, because I'm not going to get there with just wide receivers if you have both quarterbacks in there.
I had to do both quarterbacks just because I think they're the most safe, I guess.
Right, and this is cash. I mean, I was thinking more GPP because I have ground to come. I'm down by 32 points.
Right, you have to think.
But at the same time, I wanted to be able to be, okay, I need to score a certain amount of points, and then I hope one of my guys goes off and that you don't have. And that's kind of the strategy that I employed against you for this matchup. Is just, okay, I'm going to have both quarterbacks too, but I'm not going to have the same receivers. Yeah. So whoever had the best receivers is gonna win this matchup.
Yeah, and I leverage
for tournaments. I'm looking heavy on those wide receivers. Like, this is gonna be, sure. Yeah, we have 3x2 great receivers. You could go get all 5 of those guys, put them in your lineup, and then throw in somebody random, and that would be it's gonna be your optimal play. It's just gonna be playing all these great wide receivers, and the quarterbacks are neither one of them are overly mobile. So they're going to have to throw for 300 plus yards and multiple touchdowns to get there for you. And these wide receivers, if they're scoring 6-point touchdowns, you're getting more points and more upside there.
Yeah, no, I like the call. So here's the ownership rostership breakdown according to Occupy Fantasy. They've got the numbers for you for the DraftKings single game. Right, here's where
Showdown.
Cooper Kupp 60%. Rostered. You saw that coming, but still 60 is pretty high. Pretty gosh darn high, eh? So if you're fading Cooper Kupp, here's what you could do. You can go T. Higgins, Odell Beckham, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, Van Jefferson. Boom, boom, boom. And there you got the
when has it ever worked to fade Cooper Kupp this year?
I know. Well, I mean,
if we had prior examples, I would say, yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
Well, he got 1,500 yards this year, so I mean,
yeah. With playoffs included, he's got like 2,100. And he scores touchdowns every game. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to fade Cooper Kupp. I did for my lineup because I just had to take the chance that you would have a super popular player. If he flops, then I win, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I leveraged the quarterbacks and saying I want both quarterbacks, and if I don't have the quarterback points, I want the field goal points from McPherson. So I'm a little boomer bust. I'm not gonna lie on mine as well, but we'll get there. We'll get there a little bit. Who's your favorite wide receiver not named T. Higgins?
Probably Odell Beckham. I think he has a great matchup because Eli Apple is probably going to get him if they go man to man, which the Rams were in quite a bit of Tampa too as well. So it's not going to be cut and dry which corner is going to be in the zone that they're running routes through. But Eli Apple against Odell Beckham is advantage Beckham easily. Eli Apple's not very good. He talks a big game, but he doesn't back it up with anything other than getting roasted. It comes down to, Hilton's a great corner. Jesse Bates is an amazing safety that's covered up Eli Apple all season. I think Odell Beckham is primed for a huge game. And Eli Apple says he wants Odell Beckham, but I think that's a mistake because he doesn't have the covering ability to cover Odell Beckham.
I agree with you. I will say he did talk mad shit to the Cheetah after he beat him, which was
he beat him.
right after he beat him. But
anyway. Mike Hilton got Tyreek in that second half, and that was why they won.
Yeah. Well, here's something we should all keep just in the back pocket is that Odell Beckham's lady is about to have her baby, and that's his baby. And so he said he is on watch. He said he wants to see his kid born. So he might be ferrying to and fro quick with a helicopter and shit, making crazy entrances. I don't know how it's going to be done, but just keep that in mind. You hope no baby. No baby.
Is this baby number 1 or baby number 2?
I think this might be baby numero uno. So he wants.
Okay, good, because he's really interested in that baby number 2 being born.
Baby number 1, baby number 2. So yeah. All right. What about running backs? Are you entertaining anybody other? Are you doing any P Ryan? How are you playing this out? I'm thinking Mixon or bust, but I don't. I've got Akers, so that's in cash. PP, I want a little bit Mixon if I'm going on the other side.
I love Joe Mixon in this game. I also like Samaje Perine in this game. I don't like the Rams situation at all because they will try to run the ball in the first half. That's what they do all every game in this season is they really do try to establish a run with whoever is their healthy back at the time. And this is the first time they've had all 3 guys healthy, which is great for them, except for they haven't been playing with all 3 of these guys at any point this season. This running game needs rhythm, and then they have to be established in order to really take advantage of their matchups on the outside with play action. That's the whole McVay system, is they want you to have to just make that split-second decision between pass and run. And even if they are more pass-heavy by the end of the game, they set that up with early running the football. So unless we get a hot hand situation where one guy just goes off, I don't see us really attacking any of these 3 Rams running backs in a GPP unless you're just saying, hey, I think this guy's going to score a touchdown. And that might be Cam Akers. But it just gives me pause because the upside's limited for all 3 of them when they're all active.
I agree with you. I'm wondering, how much activity Henderson will get too. That's a wild card for sure.
He was the second teamer leading into the season.
Look at that, 1,600. I mean, maybe Sony Michel is gonzo, and you got Hendo back. I don't know. I mean, that's a total shot in the dark.
I don't think Hendo lost his job. He just got hurt. Like Sony Michel was only starting because both of the guys in front of him were hurt. When he wasn't playing, when Darrell Henderson was healthy this season, we didn't see much of Sony Michel.
That's a 0. He's got a 0 there next to his name. He might have to be our captain in the Millie Maker. We'll have to see how this plays out.
Hell yeah. I love that.
We'll talk in a minute. We are going to do that here. Okay. So what about, I put in myself some defenses and a kicker as well. Let's talk kicker. Are you entertaining any kickers? We got kickers and defenses, which is a little bit different. What do you think here? We got Matt Gay, 24% rostered, and McPherson, 24% rostered as well.
I mean, Matt Gay's range is limited. He can't make a 50-yard field goal, which really caps you. But McPherson, for sure. The dude's kicking field goals multiple every game in the playoffs. He's absolutely automatic right now. We're talking about this is a very confidence-based position on the field. Is if you're confident, you're going to make everything. And if you're not going to make anything. McPherson is obviously at the peak of his confidence right now as an NFL kicker. And why shouldn't he? The dude hasn't missed a single kick in the playoffs.
12 for 12, baby.
And he basically called his shot in the divisional round. Just outstanding. He got a 52-yard field goal for the win, and he already said he was going to make it before he went out there and made it.
He said it was over.
Yeah, I guess we're going to the AFC Championship. And
what balls?
The dude is not going to miss that kick if he goes and says that.
No. I like him a lot. Defense, I don't think. I mean, if you want to be completely contrarian, go ahead and go Cincinnati. But I like the Rams at home. That defense it's begging to be played. Rams are 19-5. Contrarian, only $200 difference, so it's a nice contrarian play for sure in GPPs. But what do you think? Either defense alive for you?
I'm not happy about that high ownership percentage for the Rams. I think they're going to be more towards the Chiefs type style of attacking where they blitz a lot than they are the Titans who didn't blitz hardly at all and got home with 4 guys and dropped back and covered.
Right.
That's a big difference because the Bengals excel. They don't just survive blitzes; they crush and they annihilate blitzes. If you send pressure on the Bengals, they will tear you apart. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL under pressure. He actually is like a diamond. He just comes out there and you're going to try to chip away at him, and he's just going to slice you to pieces. And we've seen what happens when you single up these wide receivers in coverage behind a blitz is Joe Burrow has 3 excellent wide receivers at his disposal. He has 2 great receiving backs in Mixon and Pirine to dump it off to if these downfield options aren't open. So I think if the Rams want to be the defense that's playable, they won't blitz. They'll play more of that Titan style where they get home with 4 rushers and they can have 7 in coverage.
Yeah, that's going to make for an interesting scenario. Do you think either quarterback turns the ball over or both turn the ball over?
I think they both will.
Yeah.
I don't think Burrow's going to throw an interception in this game, but I do think he'll lose a fumble. I think he'll get strip sacked at least once. And I think Stafford's going to throw at least 1 pick because he's aggressive. You say, oh, yes, he has thrown the most interceptions this year, but look what he's done with the other chances he's taken where he did pull it off way more often than he didn't. And so people that are focused on all the interceptions aren't seeing the big picture of his asses in the Super Bowl because he took those chances and made huge plays on other possessions.
41 touchdowns. People can shut their mouths.
Sounds pretty freaking good, man. And Cooper
17
Kupp,
ratio.
yeah, and Cooper Kupp is amazing. Odell Beckham as a late season add to replace Robert Woods seamlessly. There was no break in them having to go without a wide receiver 2 on the team. Higbee was healthy until this week, but Kendall Blanton looked really good last week.
Great. Yeah, I love it.
Or 2 weeks ago. In the NFC Championship, Kendall Blanton looked like a better tight end than Tyler Higbee. Higbee's hands are suspect. He's not that great of a blocker. He's not that good. He's just a popular guy because he had one huge stretch a couple of years ago.
Got nice hair. He's got the Denny Carter hair. Back to
And
hair.
Higbee's a fine tight end, but you could tell the replacement value for putting him in Blanton didn't drop off very much, if at all.
Didn't Blanton get a touchdown? I mean, he scored a touchdown in the playoffs already. So
yeah, in the first round.
We know what can be done.
Well, and Higbee did too. It's going to come down to the weak spot of the Bengals is up the middle of the field. You can run on them up the middle, and you can throw up the seam. So you're going to attack them with slot, which is going to be Kupp if they put him in the slot, but it's also going to be Blanton. It's going to be a lot of guys that are going to flood the middle of the field to take advantage of where the matchups are. So if the Rams put Kupp on the outside against one of these corners, I don't think he's going to have an upside game. But if they put him in the tight slot, like an H-back, where they put him in motion or in the backfield a lot of times, that's where he can really do work.
He'll get his touches from the slot. I like that. Okay, so let's do this real quick. We have the Occupy Fantasy tool up here. We've kind of talked about some of the different plays and across different positions. Let's build a Millie Maker lineup here. And then we also have the DraftKings. And the way I'm sharing my screen, I actually have to go over and reshare it, unshare it, do a little share again. But let's talk.
Oh, so Sherry.
I'm trying to share that way. Let's actually put Henderson in our captain and just see what we can do with that. Because that's a crazy play. It's only 2,400.
And nobody's going to have him.
Nobody will have it. Nobody, which will just make you right away you're differentiated. Let's talk quarterback. Bigger upside, Stafford or Burrow?
Burrow.
Let's go Burrow. All right. And then do you want to get Cooper Kupp?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's the thing. And we can also, we can Cooper Kupp it. And then we can also Higgins it and Boyd it if you want.
No, I think if we go Chase and Higgins, then I pretty much want Higgins locked in and either or Chase or Boyd. I don't think I want all 3 of them there.
Okay, we could put Chase in. We still got 7,400. We've got Henderson, Burrow, Cup, Jamar Chase, Higgins, and then price-wise, we could put Boyd in there if you want. We could put Van Jefferson in. Let's put it. Let's actually sort by how much we can afford here, and we'll take off the we'll put it on only flex. Okay, so we go Boyd, Jefferson, or some of the friends we have here.
I mean, for this kind of build, it's kind of have to be Boyd, but that's just I don't like it. I don't like the Henderson lineup.
Yeah, let's get him out of there, and then
yeah, I think it's just as crazy, but with more assuredness to put Kendall Blanton in there.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that for sure. Hold on.
Because I really do think he scores a touchdown tomorrow.
I'm okay with that completely. Where's Mr. Blanton? Paging. I'm just going to tight ends.
You have to resort it anyway.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. And then we still have 2,900 left. We could I don't know. We could
throw, you can throw Henderson back in there. Or is that enough for P. Ryan? Because I think
P. Ryan's 2,400.
Yeah, that's right.
So
or 30, is he 24 or 34? I can't remember.
Oh, is he?
I don't.
Let me see.
You only have tight ends and wide receivers there.
I know. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not. It's okay. Get rid of captains. Okay, there we go. Thank you, sir. There we go. We can get P. Ryan in there.
Okay, P. Ryan for sure.
So Blanton, we could change our captain if we wanted to. We have more money.
I love this lineup though.
Okay, Blanton, Joe Burrow, Cooper Kupp, Chase, Higgins, Samaje Perine.
It's nasty, but it's got tons of upside.
Oh yes,
especially if you figure you're basically saying, okay, unless Odell Beckham or Van Jefferson scores for the Rams, it's gonna be Blanton or Kupp.
Yeah.
And so you have two high likelihood of touchdowns scored for the Rams, especially if they score multiple, like right off the bat, and you have this passing game stack for the Bengals come into play. You're looking at a high upside play here, especially if that first script goes how it will for how I feel it is, where the Rams get out to a big lead, maybe 21-0, 14-0 first half. And then you see the Bengals do what they did to the Chiefs, where they tighten everything up on defense and they start chucking the ball. And if they start chucking the ball, we're talking about a really exciting game. And I cannot wait.
I do hope it cashes. I'm gonna put this also in. Oh, here it is. My favorite, my $3 lineup. Oh, and another one here.
Oh yeah.
I gotta try one as much as I can.
Let's build another one. Build one more.
I'm running out of money. I only got $78 left. Ready? Let's do. Hold on. Let's go to lobby, and then put a new one in. All right. Let's build one more. Who are you thinking in our captain for this one? What if it is?
I got to pick the last one.
All right. What if it's a Tyler Boyd captain? What do you think about that?
Oh yeah.
I like Tyler Boyd as the captain because then you can get your boy in there, Cooper Kupp still, right?
Yep.
And then you could get in T. Higgins. He's my favorite play. One of my favorite plays, T. Higgins.
Yeah. Same here.
And then you could still get Matt Stafford in, right? And now with this kind of money right here, here's the question: do you want to go and get yourself? We can go put in Henderson, right? And then we still have enough money. Excuse me. Sorry. Hold on. Let me change this. I forgot to share my screen. This whole time I'm building it over on my end. Hold on one second. My stupid screen share is not the same, and my brain is still not
this guy.
This guy punched that guy in the dick a few times. You know what I mean? Okay. So if we have Henderson in
there, it is. I can see what you're talking about now.
we could put in Joe Mixon. We could put in Odell Beckham.
Ooh, Get some
what do you
OBJ in there. OBJ.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get rid of Henderson and put in P Ryan too in there. You know,
I think P Ryan's the better play. I mean, to be honest, Henderson's going to be the second or third, not the first in this game. And second or third for the Rams might not get anything.
Right. But here you have second and third, or maybe third and fourth, but then first, second, third, second. You know, yeah. I like this. All right, let's put this in. I'm going to bleed all my money out for the Super Bowl. All right. And then
God bless America.
God bless it. God bless us. There we go. I love it. All right, that has been brought to you by Occupy Fantasy. Check out Brian Jester, those boys over there. They got great content. Link down in the description below. We've got great content too this year. Thank you, Bo, for your outstanding writing every week. There's my guy. We got to meet over the summer. Oh, I didn't. I'm doing it again. See, that's the thing. I'm in the wrong screen. Let's stop and change it. Okay, there we go. Change it, and then post tab, and then MLW numbers. There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. All right, there's my guy, Bo McBrayer. There's my fat, ugly self as well. And you can check out all our content this year. We crush it over there with GPPs, plays to get you paid. We had hot cash from the King of Spice. And then also, one of my favorites, the clash of the Beards and the Bellies. And I am up by 32 points right now. We both have a little bit of reflection on the year. I want you to go ahead and read yours, and then I'll read mine, and we'll wrap this show up.
So I titled mine "Super Unlikely." Super Bowl, super unlikely for me to win. I already have my concession speech ready. In the most unlikely of collapses, my DFS luck ran out at the end of the regular season. In order to be the recipient of the championship whiskey, I will need to win by more than what I said 37, but it's 32 points on Sunday. Any given Sunday, right? With only one slate left, a showdown slate, it will be even more difficult to reach the crest of the crater I left when I smacked into DFS rock bottom like the asteroid that killed all the cute dinosaurs. My Super Bowl lineup is as aggressive as I could afford to be. Here's hoping I can hit optimal and also get Scott's lineup to completely fall flat. Then I'll be able to mock him with a nice dram, sipping with my pinky finger flying.
You motherfucker. Who do you got here?
So I captained Odell Beckham Jr. and threw in Kendall Blanton. I went with both quarterbacks, so I'm double stacking both quarterbacks 3x3, going pretty much just this lineup is summed up with I faded the two best receivers in the game. I faded Chase and faded Cup and went with a 3x3 here with both quarterbacks, hoping that they both have good games, but without the help or without a breakout performance from the two top receivers, Cup and Chase.
I like your contrarianness. It's the only way forward. And both reasons is good. You know,
I did have to be pretty creative to come up with something that was both safe and high upside for this specific situation that I'm in.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it a lot. Here's my little intro. I'll give you my team, and then we'll bounce out. It says, "Raise my cup." At no point in the 2021 NFL season did I envision myself one game away from defeating Bo McBrayer and winning the Clash of the Beards and Bellies. I'm humbled to be in that very position this Super Sunday. I have a 32-point lead on Bo with only one game remaining. I thought long and hard about my lineup. I knew that I needed to play it reasonably safe and that Bo would in turn be forced to pivot to a riskier, higher variance plays. I made sure to include both quarterbacks and Cooper Kupp in my lineup. Bo faded Kupp and hitched his wagons to the Odell Beckham Jr. Express. It's a bold strategy, Cotton, is all I can really say at this point. Our season-long battle comes down to which Rams wide receiver catch the Matthew Stafford touchdowns. I'm betting on Kupp, and he's betting on Odell Beckham Jr. May the football gods be with me and only me. May the sweet taste of victory literally be mine. So my lineup, with that being said, I've got Cam Akers. It is risky. I do like the touch volume he's had, though. 54 touches. Those are just the carries, 54 carries over 3 games. I like that. If you count up all the other receptions, it's got about 60 touches. That's good. That's 20 touches a game. Maybe it changes a little bit, but that's just, I'm banking on that He hasn't played great, but this is the Super Bowl, so anything can happen. I like the Rams D being at home. I do think that Aaron Donald gets home. You got Von Miller. There's going to be some turnovers for sure. With that being said, I went with Joe Burrow, and I put Matthew Stafford in there too because I had to have the. I thought you'd have those guys as well, and then Cooper Kupp and Evan McPherson. McPherson is a beast. He's not had less than 11 points in the last 7 games. He probably makes a great captain too. If you wanted to get even crazier and put him in your captain spot, not bad. He gets you 16, 17 points. He really gets you 24, 25 points. That could really set you ablaze if you're in GPP. So, best of luck, Bo. This is going to be a fun one. I'm really excited. How are you watching the Super Bowl? What's the plan for you and your fam?
We're actually going to keep it really low key tomorrow. Just a small living room setup and cook a few things, but nothing crazy. We're just going to sit there in the living room and watch the game, tip back some briskies.
Here's what I'm going to do. I've been watching these things on Instagram where they're like 2-minute or like 1-minute meals where they just like show like and there's just amazing things, right? I saw one yesterday or today that I want to recreate that has got like flank steak and it's got like your own homemade, salsa and then your own pico de gallo you make and then you fry it up, all these different things. I'm just like, I want to make something. So any ideas, send them my way. I'm going to be trying to cook something up. It doesn't have to be a burrito, but I want to be able to cook a lot of different things and make something that I normally do not make, which is just, I normally make pizza, which is fine. I had pizza today, a little bit. Left over from my wife's thievery, but
the pepperoni and sausage she picked off of it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So,
shout out Rose. Rose just pushing buttons over there. That's all she's doing.
Oh my gosh, literally didn't know. Like that's the funniest thing about her is that she like didn't think of me at all. Like she was just like, oh yeah, I'll have some pizza. Ate my pizza. Oh, I don't want these things. I want these pepperonis and sausage. So anyway, Bo, love you, brother. This has been tremendous. What's your score and who is the MVP tomorrow? What does it look like?
I have changed the score slightly over the last few days. I do have the Rams over the Bengals 31-24. And I do think that Cooper Kupp wins MVP.
Bold. I like it a lot. I have gone on record to saying I think the Bengals pull an upset, and I'm going to say 24-21. It would be really cool. McPherson kicks a nice 55-yarder at the end to seal the deal. But
he'll probably call it too. He's going to call his shot if that happens. Then he's just going to go out there like, "Yep, get the confetti ready, orange and black, please."
Pop it, popping tags. So, well, I love it. If you're not following Bo McBrayer, please go do follow him, Bo_McBigTime on Twitter. He's writing for Fantasy Pros. He's writing for me. He's writing for you. He's writing for himself. He's writing for everybody else in fantasy football. You're the man, brother. Anything else you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Nope. Just enjoy the game tomorrow. Be safe. Don't drink and drive, please.
No, never. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Super Bowl, and we'll see you during the off season